I'd like to thank you for attending our session today titled Understanding the 7-Step Financial Planning Process. So let me tell you what I'm going to cover today so that this is not what you're interested in. I'm going to save you half an hour of your time. Obviously, time is our most valuable asset, and I never want to waste anybody's. So I'm going to be covering, obviously, the 7 steps of the financial planning process, but also going to be talking about understanding the fiduciary status versus suitability standard of an advisor. Very important information. I'll be providing you with 2 special bonuses for those that stick with me till the end of our session. And also there's going to be a special invitation to those who are retired or close to retirement to a special program designed just for you. So let me introduce myself. My name is Steve Kuna, and I am the founder and managing partner of a firm called RetirementCFO. We are obviously a retirement-focused advisory firm. The host of a Retirement CFO channel on YouTube. I'm currently writing 2 books on financial-related topics. I've been voted a top 100 retirement plan advisor several years running by the Plan Advisor magazine and the Financial Times. I've been featured on the television show Wall Street Today, which was seen on a number of news channels. And I've been quoted in numerous industry publications. I've also was a former director of retirement plan services at New England Financial, MetLife, and Mass Mutual. I spent 13 years as a U.S. Army Reserve officer in the infantry, and I attended University of Massachusetts, got a bachelor's in economics. I live in New Hampshire and been married 11 years. I have 2 kids and 2 dogs. So there's a quick overview on me. So my ask for you today, folks, I've helped hundreds of clients successfully take command of their financial future, and that's what I want to help you do today. I would ask that you don't multitask. I'm going to focus on you and our topic entirely today. I encourage you to do the same. I'll also be moving quickly. I won't apologize for that. I'm going to give you lots of things to think about, so as they say, take the best and leave the rest. You can enter any questions in the chat box below. I won't stop to take questions during the presentation, but promise I'll answer all of them at the end. Now, if your questions are very personal or specific to your situation, I'll likely not answer them here unless I feel they can benefit the entire group. I'll also ask you to take those offline or book a call or email me after the session. And if you stay with me until the end, I'm going to have a few special gifts that will be definitely worth your while. Now, I would say that this slide here would be the most important slide in this entire presentation. If you forget everything else but remember this, you'll still get significant value from our time together. I believe the most critical decision that you have to make when looking to get your retirement plan in place is to make a careful decision about the financial advisor that you work with. This is more important than selecting a product or deciding where to put your money. You want to make sure that the person you work with has the experience, the technical knowledge, appropriate professional designations, and abides by a code of ethics that puts your interests first. So let me compare the scenario of 2 different kinds of advisors, or so-called advisors, that are in this marketplace. And it comes down to being either a fiduciary or not a fiduciary, an independent or captive. If you work with someone who does not work in a fiduciary capacity, they're basically a sales representative that will likely put theirs and their firm's interests ahead of yours. If you work with an insurance agent or a salaried employee of a financial firm, by definition, their loyalty is to their firm, not to you. So on the left, you have the fiduciary status of an independent advisor, which I am. Independent, multiple professional designations, 28 years of experience, and I'm held to a fiduciary standard as a certified financial planner. I'm bound to follow a code of ethics to act in the fiduciary capacity with clients, and this means always avoiding or disclosing conflicts of interest and putting clients' needs ahead of my own. I have no sales quotas, I have no sales contests, I have no employment contract requirement to pitch any house products, and I'm also an independent insurance broker. The suitability status, which is really the bulk of the industry, where the associates are sales associates at large financial service firms. They're often a captive agent at an insurance company. They have minimal or no professional designations, but they do have lots of sales training. They're held to a suitability standard only. That means that they are not needing to work in your best interest. They have to give you a product offering that is considered suitable for you, and that's it. They represent the firm that pays his or her salary. Salary means that the company owns the representative. He or she often has a sales quota and contests. They have contract requirements to sell house product, and they're limited to or incentivized to sell the house product. Please beware of these facts and seriously consider this when making the decision as to who you're going to work with. So now let's get into the 7-step financial planning process. And this process is really a process that's been designed and endorsed by the College of Financial Planning. And again, the 7 steps are really the required steps that any financial advisor acting in a fiduciary capacity needs to go through to work with their clients. So I'm going to go through each of these in detail, and I'll start off with the most obvious, and that's the first part, and that's understanding the client's personal and financial circumstances. So anytime I begin a financial planning engagement with a prospective client, we start off with a get acquainted session. I call it a discovery call or a discovery meeting, and it's really a chance for us to get to know each other on a more personal level. I always like to understand the person's background, their family situation, employment situation, sometimes education, a little bit about their career and so on, but also want to get a better understanding of how they feel about money, what they're concerned about. Did they come from wealth? Did they come from poverty? Just getting a better understanding of their feelings about money, their concerns about money. And then also we want to get into what we call a fact-finding process. And fact-finding is really nothing more than completing a detailed report that breaks down all the basic biographical and financial information relevant to the client's situation. Obviously, name, age, birth date, address, employment, compensation, sources of compensation, current retirement accounts, investment holdings, insurance products, and so on. The amount of information that we gather is really going to be determined by the scope of the engagement. Some clients want to focus on a specific financial issue. Other clients want to do a complete, comprehensive, or a holistic financial plan. So that's going to determine what information we need to gather. So next we're going to get into section 2 here, identifying and selecting goals. So now we have a better understanding of the client's current situation. Now we want to talk more about what it is that the client is trying to accomplish. They may have a laundry list of goals that they're very clear in their mind, or they may be a little bit vague on that, and sometimes it's a matter of having a conversation and asking a series of questions to get a better understanding of what the client's trying to accomplish. But really at the end of the day, if it's, for example, a retirement goal, we need to know things about, well, what's the time frame? At what age do you want to retire? How many years is that from now? What have you done up to this point to prepare for retirement? What kind of retirement lifestyle are you looking for? Are you looking to be active or more of a laid-back individual? Do you want to do extensive travel? Do you want to do volunteer work locally? Trying to paint a picture of the kind of lifestyle that this individual or this couple is envisioning for themselves. Again, do they want to downsize a home? Do they want to move to a lower cost region in the country, for example? You know, all of that is painting the picture of really what they're trying to accomplish. If it's a college funding goal, how many children do they have? What level of education do they want to help finance? Do they want to pay 100% of it or 50% of a private school or postgraduate work or whatever it might be? It's again about understanding the goals, and that takes us into the process of starting to quantify those goals. Now, step number 3, we're going to get into analyzing the client's current course of action and potential alternative courses of action. I really call this the financial analysis. Here what we're doing is we're quantifying all the various goals that the client had indicated they wanted to accomplish versus their current circumstances, and we're going to do, I guess, a projection or going to a time machine, so to speak, and look at if they continue on their current course of action, where will they end up with regards to their goals? Will they be able to fully fund the college education? Will they be able to fully fund their retirement, or are they falling short? If they're falling short, to what degree are they falling short? Also, we'll look at some alternative scenarios where we can go in and say, well, it seems that they're falling short on the retirement goal. If we modify the retirement goal as follows, for example, delaying retirement, reducing the annual income needed, making adjustments on their current savings or investment strategy, employing other sources of income in retirement, and so on. All of those things are part of the analysis to determine, is there a better course of action the client should be taking to more efficiently accomplish their goals. Now, step number 4 is developing the financial planning recommendations. And this is where, as the advisor, after we've completed the analysis, an analogy, if this was a doctor, this would be the doctor having completed the examination, conducting some tests, doing some blood work and what have you. With that information, that fact pattern, then create a diagnosis and then a prescription of whatever medication is required. Well, the same story goes here in the financial planning space. Once we have a handle on where the client is with regards to their goals, what adjustments they would need to make to better accomplish their goals, now we have to provide specific recommendations or specific action steps that the client would need to take to accomplish their goals. Now, as an independent financial advisor, this is where we would propose perhaps a variety of different investment strategies or protection strategies, repositioning assets, reallocating dollars, utilizing different investment strategies than they're currently using, fine-tuning what they're already doing, whether it be their existing 401k plan or their IRAs, portfolios, or what have you. This is where we give, again, specific advice as to the steps that the client should take, and we want to not only make the recommendations, but then show them how those recommendations will have a positive impact on their situation. And that's where we're kind of showing them the before and after scenarios of the analysis, and it helps solidify the reasoning behind the recommendation. The cool thing about being an independent advisor is that the selection of product or investment strategies is very wide open. So we're not restricted to just a short laundry list of products and services available at one single firm. I have access to a wide variety of programs with many different insurance, annuity, and investment companies. So really it's about finding the best solution for the client rather than moving a particular product that's included in the house menu, so to speak. Now, step number 5 in the process is actually presenting the financial planning recommendations. Again, the previous step was about creating those recommendations, but this is really now where we present it and we really provide an education to the client and say, these are the following steps that we propose you take. Here's why. This is how it works. And this is where we have to get into full and fair disclosure with the client. If we're talking about specific products, we have to disclose the pros, the cons, the upside, the downside, total costs. Really provide the client with the education that they need so that they have a full understanding of the solutions that we're proposing, how they fit together, why they fit together, how much is being allocated into those solutions, and so on. This is where the client starts to understand the recommendations and then starts to make decisions about whether they want to implement the various recommendations we're proposing. Now, step number 6 is an important one because this is where we actually implement the recommendation. I always say to clients, up until this point, all we've done is talked and pushed paper, but they have not realized any benefit from the process yet because no action's actually been taken. So if we don't take action at this step, everything we've done up to this point was for nothing. So implementation is really about when the client is now, they have a full understanding of the solutions, recommendations that have been given to them by the advisor, and this is the time where they make the final decision. And taking action is about filling out applications, filling out transfer forms, opening accounts, applying for coverage, whatever it might be. It's about actually putting this financial plan into practice. So, up until this point, we've essentially put together a blueprint. We've presented the blueprint to the client, and this is where we actually start to build the house and create the reality of the financial plan in their life. And finally, the last and 7th step of the financial planning process is monitoring and updating the progress. And so different advisors have different service models, but generally a kind of a prerequisite is that, especially when acting as a certified financial planner, that we meet with clients at least annually. And this is a chance for us to sit down with the client. We do an update on their current financial position to make sure there's been no significant changes in their life financially or family-wise or employment-wise. We also provide a review of any and all accounts and programs that we're managing for the client. We would also update their financial data file. They may have had changes in terms of their retirement account balances or the cash that they have on hand or debt that they've taken on. There may be employment changes and so on, and other things that would have an impact on their financial life that up to that point we don't know about. And we also want to then reference the original financial plan to verify that we're still on track and that the goals that we were initially working on are still relevant. Things happen in clients' lives, changes occur, and so we need to make sure that the goals that we're currently working on still make sense for them. If that's not the case, then we need to make the appropriate modifications. Sometimes it means we need to go back and kind of reanalyze things and maybe put together a different set of recommendations and take a different course correction. But all of that gets worked out. In my practice, we have kind of two different service models where some clients are completely comfortable with doing a single annual review, but know that I'm available to them throughout the year if things were to come up. We have the ability for them to schedule an on-demand meeting with me throughout the year at any time and have direct access to my calendar. We have other clients that we do more frequent check-ins, semi-annual reviews, and then also quarterly check-ins. So it really is determined by the client's needs, the client's desires, the complexity of their situation. But the bottom line is that any plan we put in place, we need to keep an eye on that plan and make sure that the plan is relevant and that we make the appropriate adjustments as we go over time. So I hope now that after going through our brief session together here, you have a better understanding of the 7 steps in the financial planning practice, and also I think more importantly having a better understanding of the types of advisors that are out there that either operate in a fiduciary capacity or a suitability capacity. I think that's very key for you to understand as you are going through the process of trying to select a financial advisor. So as a result of attending this session today, I'm hoping that I've earned the right to make you an offer, because you are now entitled to a no-cost appointment for us to meet and determine if my services could be beneficial to you. Now, during this meeting, we get acquainted, we can discuss your goals, review your current investment accounts as part of the financial planning process, but also answer all of your questions. And with this information, we can then determine together what services may or may not be right for you. So at the beginning of our session, I made you promise that I would do something special for you if you stuck with me until the end. And so for attending this session, you're going to be receiving a copy of my Retirement Wisdom White Paper, which is titled The 6 Best and Worst IRA Rollover Decisions. It's actually only a 10-page report, but it's absolutely packed with great information and real short on industry jargon. And avoiding just one of these bad IRA decisions could save you literally thousands of dollars. So this report will be emailed to you within a day for attending this session. So who wants a $250 value for free? So bonus number 2 is only for those who make decisions and take action. So if you schedule your no-cost financial planning consultation with me within 24 hours, and so we're clear, this means the appointment is in the calendar within 24 hours, but must actually happen within the next month. As a thank you for taking action, and if I invite you to become a client, I'll give you a $250 credit towards your financial planning fee. Remember, I have limited capacity to take on new clients, so go to my scheduling link today, which is at the bottom of this video, to get at the front of the line. So at the beginning of the program, I mentioned for those who are retired or within 3 to 5 years of retirement, I'd like to make a special invitation, and that is for you to register for my free Retirement Blueprint Masterclass. In this 40-minute masterclass, you'll get a glimpse behind the curtain of my planning practice and see up close the proprietary 12-step process that I use to create reliable, inflation-adjusted, happiness-creating retirement paychecks for life without sacrificing your lifestyle or pinching pennies. My blueprint service has been time tested and adjusted over my almost 30-year career, and it's helped hundreds of people take command of their retirement. Also, at the end of the class, I provide thousands of dollars worth of bonus services. So again, if you're retired or close to retirement, you need to check this out. Under this video, see the Masterclass registration link. It's an on-demand program, so go watch it today. So folks, thanks so much for your attention today and for sticking with me until the very end. Remember, there are multiple links below this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Also, to book your consultation, take advantage of the what I call the no pressure discovery call. There's a direct link to my calendar in the registration area below. You can click on that, have direct access to my book, and select the date and time that works for you. Remember, to get your $250 financial planning credit, it needs to be in the calendar within 24 hours. So you might as well go there today while it's fresh in your mind. Let's get that booked, and let's look forward to having a conversation within the next few weeks. Also, for those of you that are close to retirement or in retirement, I invite you to register for my Retirement Blueprint Masterclass. You will not regret it. Thanks again for your time. I hope to speak to you soon. Take care.